Speak English, lift weights, and come out of the closet. Don't fall asleep in there like Joe. David Mamet's a legendary playwright who won a Pulitzer Prize for Glengarry Glen Ross. And he's the author of the new book, The Disenlightenment. David, have you ever gotten lost in a closet?
I got lost in the woods a couple times when I was an outdoorsman. I remember with Davy Crockett, somebody said, "Were you ever lost?" He said, "No, I was never lost, but I was once a mite bewildered for 3 weeks."
Well, we had a president bewildered for 4 years, and now the cover-up continues. How have you processed what you've seen over the last couple weeks here?
Well, I'm a Jew. I'm an American Jew. My people have only been Jews for about 6,000 years, been great supporters and beneficiaries of the state of Israel. So to see an administration turn its back on the Jews and say anti-Semitism is not hate speech, anti-Semitism does not it doesn't appear on our radar, and we got to make sure somebody's a terrorist, although he's an illegal immigrant and he's shouting death to the Jews and throwing firebombs. We shouldn't rush to conclusions. It's an outrage, but it's the sign of a civilization that's chasing its tail up its tushy, because the strictures have so dissolved during the last 4 years of horror that there's a lot of cognitive dissonance going on. And thank God for you guys on Fox and for a bunch of writers and brave people in Israel and over here who are standing up and saying, can we go back to Judeo-Christian society, which is basically what we understand in our civilization as common sense.
So, yeah, it's common sense. Things like walls work. People should be put in prison when they break the law. A man is a man, a woman is a woman. How have we gotten so far away from that?
Well, it started a long time ago. It started way back in the Enlightenment with a bunch of froggies came up with a new idea. And of late, the liberals took over the academia, which Lenin and Marx said, that's how you do it. You take over academia, you put your guys into the second generation, they put their guys into the third generation, and you say if you want to be part of the elites, and you want to be part of government and entertainment, and you want to be part of finance, and you want to be a lawyer or a doctor, you have to subscribe to the liberal ethic. And so what happens to those people's children? Right? The children grow up in a bubble and they turn on the parents. It's all in the Bible. It says, right, if you don't lay down the law to your children, doesn't mean beat them, but show them what's right and what's wrong, they're going to turn on you because children need guidance or they become terrified. And so what you're seeing at Columbia and all around those things is 3 or 4 generations of children who've grown up and raised other children who are terrified out of their minds and are looking for safety in the mob, because that's the only place they think they can find safety, because they think that's the only place they can be safe. And it's true, because if they get out of the mob, their whole worldview will be shattered. Look at Tim Walz, for example. Good grief.
Yeah, we lovingly call him Tampon because he put tampons in the restrooms of a boys' middle school. Nate Silver has a quote. I want to get your reaction to it because the Democrats are scrambling to attract men. It says, voters who report poor mental health, liberals outnumber conservatives 45% to 19%. Among those who report excellent mental health, conservatives outnumber liberals 51 to 20. Why do you think people with poor mental health are liberals?
I think it's the other way around. I think these people who are liberals have poor mental health because they're involved in denial. They spend their whole time involved in denial. It means mental energy that could be put in thought or could be put in even fantasy and daydreams goes into denying reality. So if you have to spend all your time saying this may not be politically correct, but, or well, there has to be, the truth always lies somewhere between. Perhaps if we'd sent it to Mohammed Atta, instead of blowing up both buildings, why don't you just blow up one building that Jews are Right down the line, everything in the Democrats' playbook is denial, which takes all of a person's mental energy. It's no different than a dysfunctional family. If you have a family and dad is a pedophile, the problem is not that dad is a pedophile, but the problem for everyone in the family is they have to deny that dad is a pedophile, because if they face it, the family as they know it is going to fall apart and they don't know what comes next. That's horrific. It's legitimate, but it's horrific. That's where the Democrats are now.
Is that one of the reasons that they lost men?
Well, the reason they lost everybody is people started saying, wait a second, that's quite enough now. And the other thing is, yes, I went to college in the 60s. It was the first time where we heard a woman without a man is like a fish without a bicycle, and men are toxic, and men are this, and men are that, and then the next thing. And then God, guts, and gun is the mantra of deplorables. So a lot of men grow up saying, wait a second, hold on. The knock-on effect of that is one of the things that men are raised to do is protect women. That's one of the great joys of being a man. You're saying, want to be a man? Get a job, protect the woman, right? You want to be a man? Go into the military and defend your country. Learn self-defense and defend your home, right? So now, the Democrats, instead of saying a man, one of the things that being a man means is using the strength which is a man's to defend your religion, your home, and your country, say, no, no, no. Let's say there's no such thing as men, and I'll tell you what you can do if you're sufficiently weak. Go take something that belongs to a woman. Go take her sports away from her. You want to be a woman? You can take that away, right?
You
Pretty
absolutely
cute, huh?
can. It's cute in a sick way. The disenlightenment, yes. I've started it. It's luxurious. The writing is really inspiring. Politics, Horror, and Entertainment by David Mamet. Everybody go pick up a copy right now where books are sold, or Amazon. Pretty easy to get it over Amazon. Thank you so much, David. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.